So there's this thing making its rounds through the internet known as the blue button, red button problem or issue. And I think that it is really showcasing to us, an assortment of problems, an assortment of issues when it comes to the internet as a whole, when it comes to the psyches of the individuals participating in it. But most importantly, when it comes to just the stupidity of the internet overall. Now, if you are here on the Note to Self channel, you are here most importantly to make the moolah, the cheddar, the greenbacks, the Sacagaweas, the Benjamins, the Washingtons, the ruby, the sapphire, the gold, no choto, but the money. All right. And I am your host, Sean, hoping that you will go into my description and grab my course. Okay. You're going to grab my course because today what we're going to discuss is the most important element of it all. Okay, the most important element of it all that you need to understand before you'll really be able to make any movement in any of the things that you are trying to do. You see what's happening, and like I said, what this blue button, red button problem is showcasing is that you don't like yourself enough. You don't love yourself enough. Okay? And so you're staying where you are instead of progressing. You're staying where you are instead of grabbing my course. You're staying where you are instead of developing your own things. You're staying where you are instead of using AI to make your life better. You're staying where you are instead of going to events and meetups to find the person that's going to assist you in the defeating of the mediocrity that is your existence. You're staying where you are because, once again, you don't like yourself enough. And I say like yourself because I don't really understand. I'm not going to lie. I don't really fully understand the concept of love. I think of it as chemicals, right? Chemicals going on in your brain that cause you to do irrational things, okay? That cause you to obsess over specific things. One of those being whatever, whether it be a significant other, whether it be your favorite foods, whether it be your favorite game, your vices, but ultimately still chemicals nonetheless, right? And to me, you should try your best to have more control over these things. But that's a tangent. That's a tangent that I don't really want to continue to go on. All I want to say is you don't like yourself enough. Okay? And your life's existence, your mediocrity that you exist or dwell within shows you that you don't like yourself enough. And let me further explain how this blue button, red button issue shows that at least the people who want to press the blue button, although unintelligent, it's not only the fact that they're unintelligent, but it's also the fact that they don't like themselves enough. And pushing the blue button would cause them to like themselves, okay? Or pushing the blue button gives them a personal reason to like themselves. So let me expound upon the blue button, red button issues, and what does that entail, and we can get into just how exactly you could begin to like yourself. Okay, so the issue that is brought up, this fun little hypothetical, is that the red button, there's going to be a series of individuals who possess, let's say, magical abilities of some sort to make it as to where we can Thanos people out of existence like that. Okay? All right? And in so doing, the way that they're going to do it is going to be predicated on the way you and I as humans behave. You and I as humans, has how we interact or what we choose. Okay? So these individuals are going to give us a blue and or red button. Blue and red button. One is blue, one is red. The red button. Okay, I can't stress this enough. The red button does nothing. The red button absolutely positively does nothing. It is an inactive button. You can purchase said same button from dollar store. Okay? All right? The blue button, okay? The blue button is the actual button that actually does something. What is it that the blue button does? The blue button, okay, will annihilate all people who have pressed the blue button if not enough people have pressed the blue button. Okay? What is enough people? Enough people is over 51%, well, over 50% of the population. So 50.5%, but it has to be greater than our current population. Half of our current population has to press the blue button in order for no one who has pressed the blue button to perish. Okay? That is how it goes. All right? There are people online saying that we should all press the blue button. That phrase is valid. Okay? That phrase is 100% valid. Okay? The issue is that they forget the anonymity of the experiment, of the equation, meaning that you do not know who has been asked to press the button so far. Okay? You do not know when anyone is being asked to press the button so far. So that means that they don't necessarily have to be familiar with the question. Okay? If they are unfamiliar with the question, okay, then they don't know what is the actual right answer fully. The one that makes humanity look the best. Okay? They don't know if everyone is selecting the one that makes humanity look the best as far as on a moral factor. However, on a logical factor and on a realistic factor, the only thing that you and I can guarantee is what we actually do. I can guarantee you in a specific scenario for myself, in order for me to live, in order for me to exist, in order for me to strive, in order for me to gain, I can tell you definitively what actions I'm going to take. I can't guess what you're going to do. I can't guess what situation you are in or know what situation you are in, because your environment and your current standing, your current situation is going to dictate the action that you're going to take predicated on said situation. So for me to attempt to read the future of you does not make sense. Okay? Doesn't make sense. All right? It just doesn't. Not only that, but why put myself through said mental strain attempting to guess what you are going to do? That doesn't make sense. If I don't have to think about you, I won't. And in fact, right, we already exist in a world where I don't think about you, right? Before I put on this video, I wasn't thinking about you. Now I'm thinking about you. But before I put on this video, I wasn't thinking about you. And before you watched this video, you were not thinking about me. So none of the actions that you currently take have anything to do with me. Every action that you take currently is an anonymous action. Okay? It's an anonymous action that has nothing to do with me. So day in and day out, you are already doing anonymous things that have nothing to do with me. And the funny thing is, at least in our society, at least in existence, some of the things that you do can actually affect me, right? Enough people use a platform incorrectly. The platform changes. Now I'm using the platform, but I'm using the platform differently, right? But however, it is not the same as it would have been had other people used the platform in the proper or different manner, right? Butterfly effect, as it's called. Okay? So there are things that you currently do now that will affect others, but yet you don't move or you don't behave in a way that has anything to do with those others. All right? So since we know that already occurs, why would we use the blue or red button problem as though it is a differing scenario than the way that you and other humans naturally already behave? Okay? So since we know how humans actually behave, it doesn't make sense to press the blue button. Now, the only time that it makes sense to press the blue button is, once again, I'll bring it full circle, if you don't care that much about yourself. You believe that sacrificing yourself, you believe that the struggle of it all is more important than the actual results. You believe that the intention is better than the actual results. What do I mean by that? Well, you believe that the desire for wanting to be good is better than actually being good. You believe that the desire to want to have enough money to spend it on, the things that are important, like your friends, your family, and your loved ones, is more important than you actually having the money to spend it on your friends and family and loved ones. You believe that is what's more important than actually being in a position to do it, to have those things, to do those things. And so in the same vein with the blue and red button, you believe that your intention behind pressing the blue button is more important than actually being here to take care of the people you think that you are saving. Okay? Because here's the thing. If you perish with the people who have pressed blue, you can't do anything. You can't save anybody because you're not here. Okay? All right? There's no one to save if everyone presses the red button because it makes sense. Because there was nothing was going to happen just by pressing the button. Because that is the button that literally does nothing. No one had to press blue. Now, don't get me wrong. Think about it. Just think about it like this. The first person who presses the buttons has the choice between red and blue. That first person, the very first person who has to press the blue or red button has no one to save. Okay? The person who presses the first person who presses the two buttons, that first person has no one to save. I probably should have said that in the beginning. Okay? The very first person has no one to save. So, predicated on the fact that the first person has no one to save, what button should he press? What button should she press? There is no one to save. The only reason, right, they would press that blue button is if they want. Actually, no, it doesn't make any sense. There's no, because since they're the first person, there's right now at that point in time, there's no one to save. So there's literally no, and I think that maybe that's the issue. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe people don't understand that you could very well be the first person. Since you could very well be the first person, at the time that you press the button, there is no one to save. Why not keep it that way? If right now there's no one to save and you press the red button, there's still no one to save. So then when the next person comes to press, as long as no one has pressed the blue button, there is still now no one to save. So it makes more sense to press the red button. Okay? The only reason why, I do have to make a caveat, the only reason why you might press the blue button is because you don't want to be here. You want there to be a 50-50 chance already, okay? You want there to be a 50-50 chance, and so you put yourself in a position to be saved, okay? That is the only reason. All right? That's the only reason. Otherwise, there is no reason to press. Not about what might be, not about what might have been, because those things don't need to be as long as you don't mess it up. You know? Don't mess it up. So if you are thinking like a person, you should be thinking logically. The first person to press red button. Why you should be pressing the button as though you are, everyone should be behaving as though they are the very first person. There's no reason why anyone should be behaving as if other people have already pressed it, because it's anonymous. And since it's anonymous, you don't know anything other than you are getting ready to press the button. That's it. Okay? So the question is, do you like yourself? And don't get me wrong, it is highly probable that you do not like yourself. And for reasons prior, you know, there are enough reasons for you to not like yourself. You may not like yourself because you're not as rich as you would like to be. You're not as tall as you would like to be, right? Your life is not going as smooth as you would like it to, right? Okay? All right? But what I want of you to do is think like you are the very first person. You're the very first person that's going to do all of this good stuff. All right? Whatever the good thing is, you're the very first person. But you need to do it. If you're not here, no good can be done. Okay? No good can be done if you're not here. All right? So you have to be here for the good that you would do to be done. Which means you can't press a blue button that's going to give you a 50-50 chance when you can guarantee that you stay here with us. Right? Right? Okay? And then you take the necessary actions to put yourself in a position to be able to actually help. You put yourself in a position to be able to actually help. All right? And then that way, things that need to be done, the good things that need to be done can be done. All right? And of course, my course can at least assist you in getting enough things behind you to be able to push you forward into the things that you actually want. Okay? With my course, I show you how to develop applications, and from there, you can actually not only develop applications, but you'll be able to develop so many other things. Like right now, from what I learned in my course, I'm actually working on a video game. I'm working on making a video game using AI assistance, but in my chosen platform. I'll show you how to do that later on as well. I've came a long way in under 2 weeks. This is my third weekend. Yeah, it's my third weekend working on it. And I've gotten really far. Now I need to set up the scoring system, and I need to set up the differing places, the differing worlds, and the differing levels. And the scoring system means I also need to set up the different UI elements. Okay, that all that stuff is going to be a little bit on the annoying side, a little bit on the tedious side. It is what it is, but nonetheless, it's simpler because I'm utilizing AI, right? When I work on my applications, I'm utilizing AI. Okay, so and this is because there's a growing assortment of individuals who are anti AI. Okay, anti AI. I don't understand why they're anti AI, but nonetheless, they are anti AI. Okay. And this is because they want to continue to lose. That's what it is, right? That's what it's got to be. Because if you have ideas, if you have goals, if you have dreams, if you have aspirations, I'm sorry, but AI kind of eliminates those things. Okay. For example, I'm going to make another video based on this topic. And I don't know if I'm going to utilize this video to use it, but I used AI to come up with the template, to come up with the slide deck, if you will, to come up with the I'm calling it a template, but it's not really a template. It's like a poster. It's like it lets me do a presentation basically. I used AI to come up with it, told it what to do, almost ended up arguing with the dang thing, but nonetheless, I told it what to do, and it came up with a beautiful way for me to explain, for me to showcase, right? Exactly what I mean by don't press the blue button. Okay? It let me do that. It let me do that. It was relatively cool. I like it a lot. And it was just relatively easy. It was less work that I had to do. And now I just got to share it with you, right? Don't press the blue button. So how can we keep you from pressing the blue button, from placing yourself in your own way? Because you were already okay before you put yourself in that general area. So what can we do? One thing that you can do is try to get as many wins under your belt as you possibly can. AI can do that. Okay. But number one, get on these platforms. If you're watching me right now, okay, this means that you have a YouTube, a Instagram, a TikTok, a Twitter, okay? And it's sad to say, but content reigns supreme right now. So get you a product, go into my description and grab your copy of the course, grab your copy of the products that's within there, and use those as a baseline to create your own suite of products. But grab your product right now, okay, and get online and start sharing it, okay? Get online and start talking about it on your Reddit, on your Twitter, on your Facebook. Get online right now, because every video and every product is a possible way of creating leverage in two fields, in both your own financially, right, as well as both your and also your portfolio financially, right? So when it comes to going to get going to get jobs, right? You have a resume of things that you've already done that proven that you have some tenacity, you have some will, you have some strength, you're willing to learn, you're willing to try, you're willing to invest in yourself, okay? So having enough products behind you, having enough ideas behind you, something's got to work. Something's got to work. Okay? So since something's got to work, why not let it work for you? All right? Why not let it work for you? So that's number one. Number two, get in shape. Get the exercise going, okay? Look now. Look, the show is called Note to Self. Okay? So more often than not, I'm speaking to myself. But if I'm speaking to you, you know what to do. Okay, you know exactly what to do. We got to get in shape. Get in shape so you can start to feel great about yourself. Sometimes you can't control your finances, but you definitely can control what you stuff your face with. Okay? You definitely can control what your muscles look like. Okay? All right? You definitely can control these things, especially when you're broke. That's the best time to get in shape because you're hungry anyway. That's the best time to get in shape. The best time. All right? So don't stop missing out on that. Please stop missing out on that. Okay? Definitely stop missing out on that. You just got to. So another thing that could make you want to, live a little bit longer, get yourself the Cash App. Link is in the description. Get yourself the Cash App and start investing, okay? I put $4 in last week or so, and I've earned 25 cents. It's not a lot. I'm mad because if I had put $400 in, it would be $25, but it is what it is, okay? It is what it is. Get you a little investment thing going. Figure that out. You want as many things in your corner as you could possibly get. Okay. The ultimate goal is to end up having revocable trusts, end up owning a little bit of land, end up owning a house, end up owning enough things to put in your in your repertoire of possible items you can use at any point in time. Okay. Another thing, make you some more friends. I am Sean, your host of the Note to Self podcast and other Note to Self platforms and channels, okay? And I can be your friend. Simply use the comment section below and let me know that you exist. Let me know that you exist, and I will surely get back to you as fast as I possibly can, befriending you on whatever social media account you're using. I'm not going to guarantee that I'm going to be watching your content because, as you can see, I'm always making some content, okay? But I can guarantee that if you say something in my comment section, I'm going to get back to you. And most importantly, if you come to me with problems, we're going to figure out how to solve it, especially if it can be solved with AI, especially, okay? Everything that I'm doing here is not necessarily something that I know everything about, but we can figure something out. Now, I am using up a lot of time right now, and I actually want to properly make this blue button, red button video, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to schedule this for uploading, and I'm going to see you in that video.